Hi, so this is the Aqua One Maxi 101F filter. It's an internal filter which I bought in 2015, I think, so I've been using it for about 5 years. I'm currently using it on this tank here, which is like a plant grow out tank. So I'm going to go through what I like and what I don't like about this filter, but first I thought I'd just give you a quick overview of the filter itself. The black section of the filter is what houses the filter media, which in this case is a coarse black sponge, and you can just slide the black plastic section off the filter, like so. It's a pretty basic design with only the single chamber to put your filter media in. The top section of the filter is what actually contains all the electronics and the moving parts, like the impeller. As you can see, I've got a spray bar attachment on, and that's the only one that I've really used. But the design is quite modular, and there's a couple of other attachments which they give you, so you can swap them out if you like the other outflow types. So, what do I like about this filter? Well, number one is the price. It's cheap. If you go to your local fish store, this will most likely be the cheapest filter they have, which is the main reason why I bought it in the first place. From memory, I paid around 20 Australian dollars, and sure, if you go on eBay you might be able to find something cheaper, but if anything goes wrong with this, you can always bring it back to the store. The second thing I like about this filter is that it's simple. It's not like some other filters which have some weird proprietary designs or cartridges to use and stuff like that. This one, for the filter media section, is literally just a box. So if you want, you can really put whatever filter media in there that you prefer. In the past, when I had this filter on a tank with more fish, I wanted more biological filtration, so I cut the sponge shorter and then put Sechem matrix at the top. Now the third thing that I really like about this filter is that it's been really reliable. I've used it for 5 years non-stop and I've never had a problem with it. I do pretty much no maintenance on it and it's been working fine the whole time. Alright, so now let's move on to the things that I don't like about this filter. The biggest problem I have with it is with the suction cups. They've sort of worn out over time, and as the material has become stiffer, the filter doesn't stick to the side of the tank as strongly anymore. So now about once a week, I have to reach in and pick the filter up and stick it back on the side again after it's fallen off. The second disadvantage with this filter is that the flow is not adjustable. It's not really a problem for me because I like that the flow is quite high and I'm using it in this tank to push down the CO2 bubbles from my yeast mixture. But if you keep slow moving fish like beaters, or you're using this in a small tank that's quite bare, the flow might be too strong and you can't adjust it lower. Lastly, the filter is quite small, and again this is not really a problem for me because I use it in a shrimp tank where the bioload is quite small. But if you were to use this in a different tank with a lot of fish, I think you would want a filter where you can put a lot more filter media inside. That brings me to the end of this review. So, would I recommend this filter? If you don't have much money to spend, your tank is not stocked too heavily, and the flow rate is fine for the sort of fish you want to keep, then sure, I think it's a pretty good filter, and it's pretty reliable too. But if you're not strapped for cash, or you want to keep a lot of fish in your tank, there are probably some better options on the market.